Hello and welcome back to another manga haul. This is my manga haul for April of 2023. And starting on the 1st of next month, I'm going to be writing down everything I read, so I can start filming reading logs. So the first one will be the 1st of June, and it will go over everything I read in May. So thank you to Bizarre Individual for giving me that idea. So I'm going to look into how to do them a bit more, and then at the first day in June, most likely, I'll be putting out the first one. So anyway, let's get into this haul. Let's go down to it. And this month I have 26 volumes, so I went slightly over the 20 volumes that I like to tend to stick to, but one of them was an accident, and we'll get to that. And also 3 of them are light novels, so I don't really tend to count light novels towards the total as much. Anyway, first up, we're going to be getting into the Blu-rays I have here. So I have Honey and Clover, the complete first season, and Honey and Clover, the complete second season. I found these on eBay. These are the US Blu-rays, but someone in the UK was selling these on eBay, so I grabbed them because I do have a player that's regionless, so I can play any region Blu-rays on it. I have already seen Honey and Clover, but I tend to like to buy the Blu-rays or DVDs of shows that I really like, and this was one of them. So yeah, Honey and Clover is a slice of life, coming of age josei series about 5 people in college, and they go to it's an art college, so like sculpting and painting and stuff like that. And so we have, if I can remember the names, we have Yuta, Shinobu, Hagumi, Ayumi, and Takumi. And these 5 friends all go to this art college, and it's about them, like, going through their college years and growing up and what they want to do after college. And there's a little bit of romance as well, but I'd say the romance is not the main focus of the series. It's more about a coming of age with these 5 individuals. Yeah, and it was very good. I enjoyed it. And I need more josei in my collection because we don't tend to get a lot. As I say, we never got the Blu-rays for this in the UK, so these are the US ones. And no US Blu-rays or DVDs put the age rating on, because these don't seem to have an age rating. Which is strange, because I'm used to seeing age ratings on the front of these. Anyway, that's Honey and Clover. First, this is all of it, the complete thing. There is a manga as well, but it's out of print, and I haven't been able to find it. But if I could find it, it's only 10 volumes, I would like to pick it up. But this anime does cover the entirety of the manga, so I'm not really missing out on much of the story by not reading it. But if I could find it, I would like to read it. Next up is the light novels that I got, and that is Your Former, volumes 1, 2, and 3. And I picked these up because I read the manga. There's only 1 volume of the manga out so far, but I loved it. It was so good. And I just had to pick up the light novels, especially when I found out the first manga only covers like a quarter of this first light novel. This is a very good sci-fi mystery series. It follows this woman here called, what's her name, Eriko? Echika. And she is something called, she's an electronic investigator, and she works for the police, and her job is, in this world, there's a thing called the Your Former, which is a tiny little wire thing that is implanted into people's brains, and it allows you to record memories and experiences on it, but also allows you to access social medias and stuff. It's an implant in the brain. And the electronic investigator's job is to solve crimes by using a diver, who is Echika, and a diver's job is to dive into people's Your Formers by connecting a cable, because they have a plug on the back of their necks. and they connect their cable to these other people, and she dives through their Your formers to look back through their memories to try and solve the crimes. But divers can't do this alone, because although divers can dive in, they're unable to pull themselves back out again, so they need a person called a belayer on the outside who can pull them back once they've found the information they need. And belayers need to have like the same sort of mental capacity as the diver, or else their brains will overload and they'll collapse. Now, Ichika has a very good, she's like one of the best divers there is, and every belayer she's ever had has fallen unconscious because they can't handle her. So instead, her boss gets this guy to team up with her, and he is an Adamus, or an Amicus. And an Amicus is a humanoid robot. And he is the only one who has like the mental capacity strong enough to like not get knocked unconscious when teaming up with her, but she is against Amicus. She really doesn't like them due to something in her childhood. So she doesn't really want to team up with this Amicus, but this Amicus seems kind of different to other Amicus, and he doesn't like behave the way Amicus are like meant to and programmed to. So it's a very interesting, good series. And if you're a fan of ID Invaded, whether it be the anime or the manga spin-off, I would highly recommend this, because this reminded me quite a bit of ID Invaded. I've also heard it compared to Psycho Pass, but I think it's closer to ID Invaded really. But yeah, this is very good. And I recommend it, and even if you're not into light novels, I recommend picking up the manga. It's currently only 1 volume at the minute. But it was very good, and I really enjoyed it a lot. It's very interesting. Anyway, now to get into the stack of manga here, and I have quite a lot of BL this month. Anyway, so first up, I have Happy at the End, volume 1 by Ogetsu Tanaka, who is the same author as Escape Journey and Bitch Club. And this is a Akuma release. I don't know much about this one. I knew it was coming out soon, and I know the author, so decided to grab it, but here's the description. Starving, broke, and homeless, Chihiro wanders into a bar where he meets the handsome Kaito. They hit it off immediately, and much to his surprise, Kaito invites Chihiro back to a hotel. As things start to heat up, Kaito suddenly beats Chihiro with an electric massager and knocks him out. One day later, Chihiro comes to and remembers the events of the previous night. Unable to move, he watches as Kaito calls up a friend and they drag him into a car. Chihiro is almost certain he's going to die, but instead finds himself in an apartment. Kaito reveals that he was in search of something, but now knows that Chihiro doesn't have what he was looking for. Kaito briskly tells Chihiro to get lost, but unfortunately for Chihiro, he doesn't have anywhere else to go. Yeah, so I picked this one up because I knew the author and I thought it sounded interesting. There's a bit of mystery there to like what Kaito's searching for and all that. So yeah, and it sounds like a darker BL, and I do like my darker manga. So I'll probably enjoy this one. Anyway, next up is The Accident. Well, the first volume wasn't. So I have Only the Flower Knows Volume 3 and Only the Flower Knows Volume 3. So I ordered a bunch of stuff from Book Depository because they were shutting down and they had money off quite a few things. And this is one of the things I ordered. And everything else started turning up, and then this one didn't turn up, and it was days late, past its like estimated delivery date. It went like 5 days over its estimated date. Still no sign of it. So I thought it's probably got lost. I'm going to have to get it somewhere else. So I went to Amazon, and I got a copy from Amazon, and it came next day. And then 2 days later, which was this morning, this one pops through the post a whole week later than it should have been. So yeah, I now have 2 copies of this. I really like this manga, but I don't need to. So yeah. I won't be keeping both of these, obviously. But yeah, there's Only the Flower Knows is a BL series by the creator of 10 Count and what was the other one? 7 Days. So yeah, I did enjoy the first 2 volumes, and I'm looking forward to reading this 3rd volume. So yeah, but now that I have 2 of them. So there's an extra. Next up, I have another BL that I say there's a lot this month. I have the Dragons Betrothed, and this is the same creator as Therapy Game. And Therapy Game is one of my favourite series. I absolutely love Therapy Game. So of course, when this one got announced, I decided to pick it up. I do have an art book by Meguru Hinohara, which has art from Therapy Game, Secret XXX, and this series in it. So I did like the artwork in that art book as well. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. I'm pretty sure it's about this guy who ends up betrothed to a dragon god. Troubled writer Chiharu Izunome reluctantly returns to his rural hometown, hoping some R&R will refresh his creative juices. Instead of finding a respite, he's quickly entangled by an old promise to wed a local god. Rin, the water dragon god to whom Chihiro has been betrothed, can be disarmingly friendly and charming, but inside lurks an animalistic ferocity. Can Chihiro escape Rin's protective embrace, or is it his fate already written? So yeah, really like this author's other stuff, so I'm looking forward to this one. And next up in the pile, I have Candy Color Paradox, Volume 6. Another BL, and also another one of my favourites. I absolutely love this series. This one, Therapy Game, they're both top 10, along top 5. Given I hear this on spot, Therapy Game, this one, and I've forgotten what number 5 was, but yeah, they're all top 5. Love this series a lot, and we hardly ever get volumes very often. I think it's like once every 2 years we get a volume of this now. So yeah, it's been a while. But I'm looking forward to getting back into this series. It is about a photographer and a newspaper writer. He writes articles for either newspapers or magazines, and he's the photographer, and they made to work together, and yeah, it's very good. Moving on to something that is not a BL now, and that is Orange to You, Dear One, and this is a continuation of Orange, but I think it's an alternative universe, because you have the original timeline where they're adults and you see them at the beginning of the series sending letters to their past selves, and you have the timeline where the letters arrive to their younger selves, and then I think this is a third timeline. I'm not sure. I haven't actually read any of the things in this pile yet. I just finished reading my last horse pile. Yeah, I did enjoy Orange and Orange Future, so I probably like this one as well. Next up is The Ancient Magus Bride, Volume 17. Still keeping up with The Ancient Magus Bride, I still enjoy it. Although I did enjoy the first arc more than the second arc, I'm still enjoying the second arc. This is the, it's still the college arc. So, there's a season 2 of this currently airing now, and that covers this arc. Yeah, that's The Ancient Magus Bride 17. Next up, I have The Ancient Magus Bride Wizard's Brew, Volume 6. This is a spin-off of The Ancient Magus Bride set in France, which follows Griselle, who is this dragon woman here, and then Al, who is this teenage boy who he's an alchemist, and his powers revolve around paint and colours, and his strongest power is the colour blue. And Gazelle, he's like, kind of like with The Ancient Magus Bride, where Elias gets Chisei at an auction. He's being kept in like an orphanage sort of place, and Gazelle sort of takes him and says that he's to be her bride, her groom. No, she's to be his bride, he's to be her groom. Yeah, so it's like The Ancient Magus Bride, only like the opposite way round. And also set in France. Out of the 2 spin-offs, I do prefer the other spin-off, which is Jack Flash, which is like the mystery series set in New York. Next up is Rover Kill, Volume 11. This is ending. I think Volume 13 is the last one, so only 2 more after this. I do enjoy this series. about these two hitmen. That's Rover Kill, Volume 11. Next up is a new Volume 1. I do have quite a few of those this month as well. Most of them more further down. I have Call the Name of the Night. This is a new seinen fantasy series that is just released, and the cover is great, which is one of the reasons why I decided to grab it. But also the premise seemed intriguing. I think it's like a slice of life fantasy, and the artwork is very nice in this one. So we follow this 10-year-old girl. I can't remember her name. Mira. And Mira has this disease which makes her call the night to her. So everywhere she goes, like, she makes the place dark and nighttime and stuff. And she has this doctor with her who's trying to cure her of this disease. This guy here. And there's also mentioned on the back a guy called Ray, who she knew from her past, shows up. But yeah, the main thing that drew me to the series was the artwork. It looks very nice. So yeah, that's Call the Name of the Night. Next up we have Hirano and, I can never pronounce this, Kagurua, Volume 2. This is the spin-off to Sasaki and Mayano, which is just a cute, wholesome BL, and this is the spin-off about these two roommates who are often mentioned in Sasaki and Mayano, and also they have quite a few chapters of these two. It like tends to be at the end of volumes of Sasaki and Mayano. You tend to get a chapter with these two, but this is their own series. I'm pretty sure this one's actually based off a light novel. And I'm pretty sure that you can get the light novel as well. But yeah, it's a cute, wholesome BL. If you like Sasaki and Mayano, obviously give this one a go. Next is Snow White with the Red Hair, Volume 23. This volume seems skinnier. Snow White with the Red Hair is one of these series where the volumes kind of remained a more consistent size, whereas other series were getting skinnier as the volumes went on. This one was always kind of the same size, but this volume seems a bit skinnier. Not that I mind. So yeah, it's Snow White with the Red Hair. It's the slice of life fantasy series. I'm still continuing it. Ooh, it's got a good bit of flop to it, actually. Yes, I quite like it when a book flops. It's just so satisfying to me for some reason. Just to like the feel of it flopping about in my hand, it's quite a satisfying sensation. Next up, I have My Special One, Volume 1. This is a new shoujo series released from Viz. This is the first volume. I'm pretty sure it's the same creator as No Longer Heroine. I might be wrong there, but I think it is. Momoko Koda. In fact, I can check because it's right over there. Are you the same person? Yes, you are. Yeah, it's the same author as No Longer Heroine. It's about an idol. This girl who's sworn off beautiful boys, like, is approached by this idol, I'm pretty sure. After mortifying rejection, Sahoko Wakaume has sworn off beautiful boys, but a chance meeting puts her in the sights of gorgeous J-pop star Kota Kirigaya of the group Like Legend. Sahoko will need all her criticism to defend herself against Kyoko's tender-hearted and affectionate attacks to win her heart. Sahoko tells off the nation's top idol, Kyoka, in her family's restaurant for assuming that she's his fan. Instead of being cowed by his mistake, Kyoka comes in the following day with albums and VIP tickets to Like Legend's next concert. Can Sahoko withstand his shining onslaught to charm her? I don't usually like idol stuff, but this one seemed like not as idol-y as some of the other idol things, if you kind of get what I mean. This one seems a bit more focused on the romance rather than the idol stuff. That's what I'm trying to say. Next I have Welcome Back Ariora? Is that Ariora? No, it can't be Ariora, that's a nipple. Ariore? Is that his name? Ariore. Is it a nipple then? No, it can't be. It must be his name, or a word that I just don't know what it is. This is a BL series. I'm pretty sure this is more of a wholesome one. It's only rated 13+. But there is attempted sexual assault, domestic violence, smoking, alcohol, and consumption. The two boys growing up side by side, their stars drift apart and come together again. Outgoing and popular Kazu and shy, serious Moto grew up together as childhood best friends, but something changes during their junior high, and the familiar, easy rhythm of their friendship begins to break apart as Kazu starts nursing deeper feelings for his oblivious friend. When Kazu's troubled home life and Moto's budding romantic forays create a clash of misunderstandings, secrets, and hurt feelings, will their relationship be able to survive these growing pains? And as I say, this one I don't think has any sexual content, but obviously it does have trigger warnings for this stuff. Yeah, it's more... I think it's supposed to be more of like a wholesome one. I haven't actually read it yet. There is that one. Next up, I have another Tokyo Pop BL. I tend to just get all the one-shots they bring out. They tend to be quite good. Be My Love, My Reward. Now this is a, yes. This one is about a master and a servant, and the servant is this beast man, and beast men are, I'm guessing, they're not supposed to actually be with humans, but he falls in love with his servant, and the servant likes him back, and then, yeah. This one is probably not so wholesome. So yeah, looking forward to that. Next up I have this new seinen slice of life, possibly romance series called Insomniacs After School. This is about two kids in high school who are insomniacs, and every night they meet up to go to the school's observatory, which no longer used because the club left, and they just meet up and spend the night doing stuff together in this club. And like just being awake all night basically. Yeah, I've heard some good stuff about this one and I wanted to give it a go. I know there's also an anime currently airing, but it's on High Drive, however you say it, and I don't actually have High Dive. I only have Crunchyroll and Netflix. Next up is Mermaids Chaos and the Town of Sand. This is a 2-in-1 josei series about this 12-year-old girl who her parents have recently divorced, and she moves to this seaside town with her father, and this town seems to be like obsessed with mermaids, and she has this vague memory of her being rescued by a mermaid when she was younger. And then, but she meets this boy in school, and he's just trying to insist to her that no, mermaids aren't real. It wasn't a mermaid that rescued her. She's just remembering wrong. But yeah, this one, it's a josei, and as I say, I need more josei, and it sounded interesting. The art style is very, like, simplistic in this one, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. Yeah. That's Mermaids Chaos and the Town of Sand. Next up is the next omnibus of number 6. This is Omnibus 2, which contains volumes 4 to 6. I watched the anime for this one years ago, and I enjoyed the anime, and I enjoyed the first omnibus, so yeah, this is the second one. It's a shoujo sci-fi series about a city called Number 6, which is supposed to be like a utopia, but it has dark secrets hidden underneath, and Shion meets up with this boy called Rat when they're kids, and he's a fugitive, and he helps him, and therefore Shion loses his high class status and becomes sent to the poorer district of the town, and then they meet up again. And there's these killer wasps parasitic wasps going around, and they're trying to like uncover the secrets of number 6. And yeah, it's a good series. This one is kind of BL as well, but that's the relationship between these two is not really the main focus. It's more about the sci-fi mystery. Next up is In the Korean Moon with Dusk, Volume 3, another one. I highly enjoyed the first couple of volumes, so I grabbed the third one. This is Mika Yamamori, which is the author of Daytime Shooting Star and Tsubaki Cha Lonely Planet. I enjoy. I haven't read Daytime Shooting Star yet, but I enjoyed Tsubaki Cha. Yeah, we have this girl who's often mistaken for a boy because she's considered to be very handsome and she's tall, and everyone sees her as the prince of the school. And then this guy comes along and kind of thinks of her as being more of a princess for the first time, and he kind of falls for her, but she doesn't know she's very interested, so they start like fake dating and stuff. Yeah, it's a good one. Next is another new series, and that is The Eccentric Doctor of the Moonflower Kingdom. This is a shoujo, like, historical mystery, I think. It's set in like an ancient Chinese setting, a bit kind of like the Apothecary Diaries sort of setting, where we have this girl who's a doctor, and I'm pretty sure she's approached by a prince to come solve medical stuff. In foreign lands of the Moonflower Kingdom, people have long relied on healing methods shrouded in superstition with dubious results. When the young Prince Kaeun goes in search of a more reliable remedies, his party is attacked by mysterious assailants, and he ends up witnessing an never-before-seen life-saving procedure that shocks him to the core. Even more surprising, the one who performs this medical feat is a beautiful yet slightly odd teenage girl named Koyu. Just who is this girl, and why is the prince being targeted by assassins? Shadowy conspiracies, medical intrigue, and romance abound in this beautifully illustrated shoujo manga. Yeah, it's medical mysteries and a bit like the Apothecary Diaries sort of thing. I've read the first volume of the Apothecary Diaries and I did enjoy it, so yeah, this seems like it could be similar. Anyway, next up is 3 more to go. We have I Didn't Mean to Fall in Love. This is a new BL one-shot by Seven Seas' Boys Were Fine. This one follows a guy in his 30s. Is he in his 30s? I think he's in his 30s. Yeah, he's about to turn 30, who's never been in love before, and he goes to this bar where he meets this college student who, and they have, a one-night stand, but then, he starts to fall for him and stuff, and I have to be very careful what page I open this on. Yeah, it's another BL. And last up, and for this haul, we have 2 steamship titles. Ladies on Top, Volume 2. This is the one about a woman who likes to be dominant in the bedroom. She likes to be on top, and a guy who likes to be dominated. But neither of them kind of like to get on. That's Ladies on Top, Volume 2. All steamship titles are obviously not for anyone under the age of 18. And the last one is the Villainous and the Demon Knight. Now this is an isekai and it's a Villainous. Isekai, 2 things I generally tend to avoid. But this is a steamship title, so I'm gonna pick it up if it's a steamship title. And it involves when noble woman Cecilia realizes she's been reincarnated into an otome game. Her shock is further complicated by the fact that she's the Villainous. What's worse, she can't seem to change her fate. Now her engagement is broken off, the heroine is harassing her, and she's forced to work in a brothel where her very first customer turns out to be the debauched leader of the Imperial Guard, Lucas Herbst. This dangerous Casanova looks like it'll be the end of her until he takes her as a fiancé. I have skimmed through this one, and And it's definitely deserving of a mature rating, let's just say that. I haven't read any of these yet, but I will be doing a reading log, and these will probably all be included in it if I can manage to get them all read next month. Let's say I would have done one for this month and started like on the 1st of May, but I can't remember half the stuff I read. So I'm gonna have to write it down as I read it so I remember, and then do the reading log on the 1st of June. So yeah, if I get all this read, it will be included, as well as anything else I read. Anyway, that is it for the video, and I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you for my next video when I make it. Goodbye. Goodbye.